of who we really are by shedding the cement that's been deposited on us all those years. Exclamation point. This is the greatest of successes. Robert gets it each and every day. Each and every one of us has been pointed to the way of true self, in the hero's journey, right? And any endeavor we decide to participate in from this point forward, we do so with full confidence and expectation of success. I salute you all and myself, and that's key. I'm going to talk about that for about 20 seconds, but he says, I salute you all and myself for making this remarkable jump to a level of understanding so few will ever know. And there it is, that he included himself. You know, it's a humble statement, and at the same time, you know, he's declared himself worthy of embracing the power that he was born with. It's given to you. We can't lose it. We can only surrender it, and we can reclaim it whenever we want. So bravo, Robert, and bravo for all your contributions. This guy's a maniac in there. He's building a success mentality, complimenting. He gets it, which leads me to a demand and a simple request. This is a spreadsheet that you should be working on, leveraging the law of growth so you can see it happen right before your very eyes. So the demand is the demand of success. It's got requirements, and if we don't pay the price for success now, we have to pay it later. But you're learning how to pay it effortlessly, and you'll discover later in this webcast the difference between people that appear to have success, but they're toiling so damn hard. It's not effortless. It is the law of growth that makes it effortless. And you're going to learn a word today, or have a word defined more accurately for you, that should drive this home. You must get busy with this. Now, the demand isn't from me. The demand is something that you create in your subconscious mind by leveraging the law of growth, because once you plant a demand in the subby, it's gonna go and get it. It's gonna go and get it. And the truth is, that's always been the truth. It'll always be the truth, and there's no other way for it to be. You know, one of the things that happens into us in our lives, we've all at some point or another planted a seed, or let's say a bulb, and then enjoyed the pleasure of waiting, you know, for the plant to appear and develop, you know, ultimately to produce its glorious flower. Yes, we've all had that experience, right? Even if we just did it with our kids. Maybe it was a tulip. But notice here that you naturally, I'm going to say that again, naturally, because that's what we're talking about here is natural law. You naturally plant the bulb, and what? You have an expectation that the flower's going to grow. It could be a tulip, a crocus, hyacinthia. It doesn't really matter. No sane person, did I say no sane person yet, honey? All right, I got to say it again. No sane person would dream of planting a flower and expecting the bulb to come up. Yet remarkably, and this is what Robert's talking about, most people live life backwards. You know, in general, our life, many of us, we do just that. We expect to begin with the flower. We think that we have desirable states of mind or body, and whatever, happiness, freedom, wealth, health, whatever, if we can only change what? The outer conditions. Yet this is really trying to plant a flower because we're trying to put effect before cause. The natural law of the universe is thought first, then expression, and it can never be reversed. Folks, you just simply plant the demand. That's the bulb. That's the bulb. The flower is going to grow. Okay? All right. I'm all wound down now. All right. You got to get in there and comment on successes and compliment other people. That's the bulb of success, and it'll happen effortlessly because subby is going to work 24. I want you to have a little request for you. Go to the guy in the gallon of glass. Okay, now make a decision. You're either going to do this or you're not. Decide right now. I'm going to give you 3 seconds. Go to the guy in the gallon of glass. If you're not commenting daily about your successes, you are successful between 2,000 and 3,000 times a day. Okay? Get in there and list a couple of them and comment on other people's. If you're not doing that, read the guy in the gallon of glass, a gallon of glass right after this call, and look yourself square in the eye in that mirror and say, why have I decided not to participate in planting the bulb or the demand for success in my subconscious mind so this stuff happens for me effortlessly? Why am I choosing to plant the flower and hoping that a bulb comes up? Okay, all right. So here's our agenda. We're going to go over decision and persistence. The organized plan that's perfect comes to you in the sitting, and we're gonna actually morph into little mini versions of an actual mastermind alliance, which we've talked about here for the last 7 or 8 weeks. But basically, what I want you to notice is when it starts to happen, you're going to share your plan, you're going to get input from others, and I want you to notice that this is really where you would be starting your mastermind alliance. And we're going to talk about mastermind alliance next week and the week after and help you develop a mastermind statement and tell you a couple of nice things we have in store for you. But it's all about faith. And without a mastermind and a decision to win, you can't plant a demand. So it's persistence to demand from yourself success, not the hard way, not the way everybody tells you to do it, not all those ridiculous videos where you see people going through struggling, hang in there or don't quit and all that. I mean, I love the football player that's, on his all fours and his toes in his hands, and the coach tries to get him to go to the 40-yard line, and he's got someone on his back, and he goes the entire field. Well, that's really cool, but there's probably 1 in 1 million people that could actually do that. Anybody can do this. Anybody, effortlessly. So we're going to help you make that happen. So if you're just getting started, just basically contact Go90Grow at gmail.com. If you just started to get into Think and Grow Rich, and a couple of people left questions in this box earlier. And so let me do a little housekeeping here. We have been sort of forced, it's a positive thing, but so many people are succeeding. They want this for their people. Generally, we only do Go90Grow twice a year. We're actually going to run another session in June. So we'll let you know about that and how you can make a couple of bucks on it if you want or not. But when all these classes will restart again. So it's really kind of cool for you, because if you're just learning Think and Grow Rich, or you sort of been half doing it, sort of checking it out and all that, which is fine. And there's so much information in there. I think one of the funny things is one of the complaints that we get. There's not very many, but one of the complaints that we get is it too much information? It's like, dude, you bought an information product and you're mad because there's actually information in there rather than bullshit. Give me a break. But anyway, we know that it's a lot to get through all at once. So we got back-to-back classes running for you, so that's kind of a cool thing. So let's get busy. Decision. We covered last week that decision comes from the Latin decaitere, and what it means is to cut yourself off from any other possibility. Folks, that's a requirement. That is a requirement. It means mentally you're cutting yourself off from any other possibility. Certainly a mental diet that you've taken makes it really clear that it's very possible to do that if you leverage the 7 laws of the mind. If you don't, well, then it's a struggle. So do it the hard way or do it the easy way, but do it, okay? But it's basically the decision to succeed, to attain your DMP, making decisions or stating preferences. There's the big thing. Most people say they've made a decision, but they're really stating a preference. They haven't cut themselves off from any other possibility. This is oxygen for your soul. Your definite major purpose is what moves you into civil disobedience, which is fantastic. If you haven't read Walden, that might be something you want to do by Thoreau. We talked about civil disobedience, where he stepped away from the mainstream thinking and created his own reality. In other words, are you using the single eye, or are you fastening yourself to your challenges? This is the sort of half measures, and half measures avail us nothing. So have you really cut yourself off from any other outcome except what's in your definite major purpose? It's all linked, of course, to your PPNs. Okay, you have discovered that mind is cause and results are effects, and we just went through the bulb and flower. It's all around you. It is the natural order of the universe. So where's the proof of your decision? Well, you're sitting, auto-suggestion with enthusiasm. There's a willingness to do or not do these things defines our decision. We aren't what we say we are what we do. Okay? In other words, Ford's statement that you can't build a reputation on what you're going to do. You can't start this tomorrow. You got to do it now. You got to do it every day, right? And that's right out of a book that was written 2,000 years ago, that the body perishes daily, but the spirit's renewed daily. You got to renew that spirit and that enthusiasm every single day. Otherwise, you're going to default to the nightshade rather than planting a crop that you want. And of course, Bill Parcells, who we talked about earlier, the great football coach, says, we are what our record says we are. Okay? I mean, I don't know about you, but, unrealized genius and, people telling you have potential, I get tired of hearing that at 43 years old. I mean, at some point, you got to say, it's time to deliver. So I want to interrupt this broadcast. It's not a rant, but there really is a method behind the madness and what I just went over, okay? The early lesson, very early lesson, was scattered consciousness leads to loss. Cumulative consciousness leads to prosperity or gain. The old blueprint created a habit, okay? You've got to constantly interrupt the old blueprint, and you have the tools and you have the directions. There's the tools that you've provided yourself: a DMP, sitting for 15 minutes, reading out of Think and Grow Rich daily, the blueprint builder, the movie trailer, the last hour of the day. Look at all these tools you've created for yourselves. These are constant interruptions, and if you make them emotional, the new blueprint will crush the future that you want faster. It'll get it to you faster. You don't have to worry about the old blueprint. I see a lot of people still talking about this back and forth with the old blueprint. As they say, I can't say that. I want to say an Italian cuss, honey, but I guess that's not a good thing to do. Anyway, forget about it, okay? Forget about the old blueprint. Live in those exercises. This isn't no rant. There is a method behind the madness, and it's so that you're constantly interrupting the old blueprint until the new blueprint becomes the music. And don't die, folks. Don't die with the music in your soul unplayed. Okay, don't die with your song unheard, right? So this is thought, belief. Here's our little buddy. This is me and you down in there, and first we're embarrassed, and then we're finally getting enthusiastic. But this is how we attach decision and persistence to these our four little friends here, okay? You create an experience, which is what you're doing right now. You need to do what Robert talked about. You need to acknowledge to yourself that you're part of this. You are doing this. You are charging this with feeling. When you do, this is what leads to the persistent action, okay, that is positive. I'll tell you a little trick about persistence here today. But anyway, the bottom line is, does everyone know that you have made a decision? A decision, not stated a preference. A decision to commit to a wealth philosophy. A decision to do it the easy way. A decision to do it the natural way. A decision to align yourself with universal and natural law, because we are our decisions. We are always persistent. This is what people don't know. You don't have to go get persistence. You've always been persistent. If you have always procrastinated, you are a persistent procrastinator. If you are always full of self-doubt and that stops you, you are a persistent self-doubter. You don't have to go get persistence. You just have to know how to direct it. Our actions consistently, regardless of our mood, feelings, or circumstances, define our actual decision. Okay? Make a decision and say, well, I'm not really in the mood to work out. Say, I'm not really in the mood to work out today. I'm kind of feeling down and tired. I don't have much in my tank. Okay? That is your decision. That's who you are. You actually stated a preference when you said you're going to work out every day. Persistence is a manifestation of your decision. Persistence is simply a manifestation of the decision that you made. And where does that come from? From what you believe. And you now know how to choose what you believe. You now know, if you've been practicing the 7 laws of the mind, if you saw that as a lesson and let it go, go back, learn them, live in them, because the greatest mechanism on the planet's sitting right between your ears. And I think it's a real good idea to learn the 7 laws that govern it. Okay? It's really that simple. So organized planning, remember we talked about the consultant that made all that money who said a good idea is worth about $1. The plan to implement it is worth millions. So there's 7 questions that you must answer, 1 plus 7. And even if somebody else found it, okay, could they do it without you? They should be able to. So we'll be calling on a few shortly to share and learn from each other. This is where you start sharing your plan. Well, let's talk about objective. This is the thing that everybody needs to know. What is your objective? Well, that's the DMP, okay? So do people know without question what your DMP is and the SMART goals that support your DMP that satiate your personal pivotal needs and what your feelings are going to be when you attain it? The objective then is the DMP. The strategy is your network marketing company. You're the deal, not the network marketing company. I was talking with some people over here in Hawaii at the live event, and then we had an ensuing conversation. And the really interesting thing is they're talking about what sets us apart. Every company has the best plan, best product, and best founders, and you should feel that way about your company. But that isn't what sets you apart. What sets you apart when you're talking to a prospect and they're talking to other people is you. You know how to be successful. And the way it is right here. It's in the tactics. You got a good network marketing company, you know what you want. It's not your network marketing company that makes your deal great. It's you that makes it great. When they can look in your eyes and they can hear in your voice that you know what you're doing, okay, you're done. They're in. It's just that simple. It's you they're joining. People join people. They don't join companies. Companies don't build people. People build companies. So move on from that and move into understanding that you're the goods. And if that feels strange for you, build a bridge and get over it, okay? Because we're rattling people's dream chamber, and it's only right that we know how to help them manifest their dream, how to leverage the network marketing company. So we're going to get feedback. It's time to ante up. We'll leave this up on the screen. People need to know, okay? They need to know, okay, what your DMP is, not the whole thing, just a 2 or 3 sentence thing about it, sort of like a mini trailer, movie trailer, okay? But do you have a plan? What's your plan? Tell them what it is. Tell them if it's written down. They're going to tell you if it's clear. So those of you that are critiquing other people here, you're going to let them know if it's clear, if it was well communicated. The workable thing is really important. There may be a couple of things in there that you want to question them about. For example, if I said I was going to talk to 40 people a week, well, you'd have to maybe question me about, do you have enough names for that? And of course, that also applies to, are you keeping balance in your, how are you planning on keeping balance in your home? Because that would be a big commitment. And how can you implement it? In other words, how can you overcome whatever obstacles? And of course, so those are the ones you're going to focus on in the feedback, okay? And anyone want to move all in here and volunteer their plan? Just raise their hand. Nobody wants to share their written plan. Okay, Casey. Okay, so this is a problem. One person out of over, well in excess of 100 actually want to share their plan. Good for you, Casey. Okay, so we'll get you on the next flip because I need to go on a rant, which I planned on doing anyway. Okay, so what's the lesson here? You guys aren't moving all in. It's a mastermind. Okay, this is where we come together as minds because the OPM, a lot of people think means other people's money. But the truth is, with Hill and Stone and the Think and Grow Rich philosophy, it's other people's minds. I want to leverage other people's minds. I guarantee you that any challenge that you think you have, somebody on this call has had the same challenge and they've overcome it. And Hill and Stone said there is far more gold in the minds of men than there is in the earth. And that's what you need to take advantage of. So you have to do, this is what you need to do, okay? This is where we get interactive. You've got to figure out, here you are on this call, you're 10 weeks, this is week 9, plus the orientation week. You're 10 weeks in here. You know you need a plan, right? That's the tactics. Otherwise, you can't take advantage of the strategy, the network marketing company, which means what? You can't obtain your objective. So here you have an opportunity to have your plan critiqued to get it perfect, and you've made a decision not to move all in, except for Casey. Except for Casey. Bravo, Casey. Okay? Hey, we got a second one, John Kennedy. All right, we got one or two more. So I'm going to put them all down and go on a little rant here, okay? Let's talk about persistence. I'm going to give you a gift and sweeten you up a little bit, and then we'll go. The truth is, most people don't know crap about persistence. Not quitting doesn't have anything to do with winning. Hanging in there doesn't have anything to do with winning. None of it has anything to do with persistence, but it's all defined this way. Now, I'm not picking on this guy. This is just something that you'll see everywhere. He actually has a pretty good blog, but this is what he says, okay? That persistence is the fifth and final pillar of self-discipline. That's simply not true, okay? It's not a pillar. Listen to this. This is what I mean about a poor definition. And again, I've read this guy's blog. It's good stuff. This is normal slop that everybody just sort of reframes for themselves. It says right here, persistence is the ability to maintain action regardless of your feelings. You press on when you feel like quitting. Let me tell you something. That doesn't have anything to do with persistence. And that's what's pitched from network marketing stages, all by well-meaning people. It's a very well-meaning, and there's some really excellent stuff down here, okay? But the truth is, persistence is not the ability to maintain action, regardless of your feelings. Has nothing to do with it. Has nothing to do with it, okay? That is not what persistence is. It is not an ability. Let me say that again. It is not an ability. So if you're on this line and you're thinking, I'm not that person, I don't have the ability. Well, that's why you're on this call, because it doesn't have anything to do with ability. It's not a talent. It's not an ability. It's not a characteristic. Are you relieved? You should be relieved. You should be mega relieved. I sure was when I found this out, because I didn't know if I had it. This is what Coolidge writes, and why it's crucial that you have persistence. Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Let me read that again. Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent won't. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius won't. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. The slogan, press on, has solved and always will solve more problems, will solve the problems of the human race. So what is it? Really, what is persistence? Well, I want to do a quick review here so that you clearly understand what persistence is. We're not mean. We're not on the bully pulpit. We're thrilled. We care because we know what it takes to develop success. I had a plan written for this over 3 years ago, okay? You know, people think we're meanies. Don't be mad at us for me getting on the bully pulpit, for your DMPs being sent back, for us breaking your chops. It's the previous members who directed us to do that. Why? They said, be tough about the DMPs. Drill these people harder. The success mentality, get them to participate. Yell and scream at them if you have to. The surveys and direct calls, and we send out surveys from time to time. I know some of you just filled one out. We thank you for that. But they all said, in surveys at the end of the class that we send out, push harder, push more, be tougher. And they all said it was the same thing. If they knew what the payoff was in this week, they would have dug in earlier. They would have sat every day. They would have gone to the guy in the glass. They would have been in that community with their successes. Now, does that mean that you missed the boat? No. Start now if you haven't done these things, because you're about to find out what the payoff is, okay? Here's the gift that we promised you. We've asked, and you've done, okay? There I am, pulling a couple of people with me. Come on, you can do it, Dana. Danny, you can do it, okay? Our daughter Dana's coming over here against all odds. And she's coming, it's against all odds. She's making the trip. And what's really interesting is she started to put this stuff in play. And instead of coming in October, she's coming at the end of June. She's able to move it up June, July, August, September, October. She's realizing her first DMP 4 months earlier. 4 months earlier. It's a miracle what the kid's doing. So we've asked you to write out a DMP and share your heart's desire. Insisted on the sitting, auto-suggestion, and the blueprint builder with enthusiasm. You helped yourself to building a burning desire with the faith-building things like auto-suggestion, okay? 2, we put you on a 14-day, and then we surprised you and said, just give me 7, and you took it. This helped you develop a real positive mental attitude, not the bumper sticker, with all due respect, Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins. It's all bumper stickers. The secret, ooh. You did the real work, and observed yourself, and you withdrew from negative thought by thinking of something else instead. We pushed you week in and week out to do oats. And we told you to show up with a definite plan this week, okay? And you heard and accepted our invitation to be in a mastermind alliance on blind faith, okay? And brought you through the process so you're in one so you can form one. Look at those 4 things: DMP, positive mental attitude, definite plan, and a mastermind alliance. So I promised a gift, a life-changing gift. But here's the thing, I wasn't the giver. You were going to be the giver. I told you that, and I told you to put in the time and do the right things right, then do the right things better, then do the right things faster with more enthusiasm, because the gift that you're crafting is yours. You're crafting the gift. So as beautiful as it is, whatever level of beauty and magnificence it has, it's yours, which is why you've got to pay the price daily. This is a gift that you'll have an understanding of a truth that I can't even begin to tell you. I don't like putting percentages out because they always raise flags, but clearly better than 95% of the people on the planet don't know this truth, okay? The real gift is the discovery of the power within, okay? The real gift is how to find, reclaim, and apply this power, a power that is infinite. It is infinite in energy, infinite in creativity, and it is yours, and growing with use, okay? This gift that you've created for yourself, okay, it replaces permanently fear with confidence, procrastination with action, and most importantly, faith, okay? It overrides doubt. It's not even there anymore. It's not over it. It's not bigger than it. It just vanishes. Fear, procrastination, and doubt vanish if you've been paying the price. And if you haven't, just start now, okay? So what's this big, huge gift, Mark? Well, the payoff is an authentic gift. Number 1, a DMP backed by a burning desire for fulfillment. 2, a definite plan expressed in continuous action, okay? 3, a closed mind to all negative thought. Are you getting this? Are you seeing what you did for yourself? Are you seeing it? Because persistence is a habit, and it is actually the byproduct of 4 little habits that anybody can do. That's you. That's me. That's anybody can write out a DMP and use the exercises to build a burning desire, write out a plan, and you've taken the mental diet, and you're in a mastermind alliance, folks. That is persistence. Persistence is not an ability, it's not a talent, it's not a skill. It's a habit. And that habit is developed by these 4 tiny habits. Sorry, I just get so choked up for you at this point. Look what you did. Look what you've given yourself. This is what all the rants are about. We knew this day was coming. A mastermind alliance of people who encourage you to follow through with plan and purpose. So Dave and Trish the Dish and Kathy, myself, we've pushed you about your purpose and tried to help you form it more um, properly verbally. And now it's the plan. We're encouraging you. Look at that. Encourage you to follow through with a plan and purpose. Look at that. Those are 4 little habits. The gift is authentic persistence, that faith replaces doubt. Action replaces procrastination. And confidence replaces fear. That's a blueprint. It's marvelous. Now, the payoff is even bigger than you can possibly think. Now, this is actually an award that my son won in 2012. He was account manager of the year. He was the first one ever with this company, and it's not a tiny rinky-dink little company. It's actually now a franchise. The company is franchising out other Money Pages um, uh, franchises. Okay, they're now franchisors. It's the first time ever in the history of that company that a new person became the account manager of the year, and Derek, my son, has now arranged an appointment with the owner to help to provide him a plan with me about how to uh, franchise faster and use the Hero Journey skill set. He's actually trying to sell the owner of the company to abandon the selling system they're using and use this selling system. I mean, this is remarkable, remarkable. So how'd he do it? Okay, is he a chip off the old block? Nope, he's not. Very different kid than me, very different. This is what he did. He said, Dad, I want to be the account manager. I know this guy's going to go to franchising in a year or two, and I want to be able to have the inside track. So he wrote out a definite major purpose. He built a burning desire. He took the mental diet. He wrote a plan of action, and he masterminded with me weekly on strategies to increase his sales. But this is what I mean about the payoff is bigger than you can think. You know how to win. You know how to teach others to win. It's a simple formula. All I did was teach him the formula. It's not that I'm a great dad and I want to show you something, okay? This is usually, I don't take the time to do this, but it's really important. Okay, this is my definite major purpose. And down here in this area right here, right, it says, simply by improving daily, I create a legacy that gives me peace of mind. This peace of mind, knowing I supplied for the physical needs of the next generation, is dwarfed by the peace of mind that I experienced knowing the real legacy was how, being an example of controlling thoughts and manifesting dreams. This kid is on the edge of a massive dream, and he did it with the formula. His father didn't do it for him. He did it by following the formula. Isn't this stunning? I mean, really, when you think about it, you've been looking at the formula to riches for 9 weeks, and we've kind of babied you through it, baby stepped through it, but you're doing it. DMP plus PMA plus plan of action, right? Plus a mastermind alliance is success. That's the formula. That's aligned with natural law. It is creation, which is why DMP is bigger. Positive mental attitude, again, not bumper sticker quotes, okay? And here's the deal. an even bigger gift you've given yourself, right? Persistence is continuous action. Look at the formula. All you have to do is supply the red. Do you get that you're in the top 5%? How do you supply the red? By sitting, by reading with enthusiasm, by constantly interrupting with all those tools we've pushed you and kicked you about and encouraged you about. All those tools build a burning desire. It is burning desire. It is burning desire that makes continuous action effortless. The Think and Grow Rich experience gives you the black part. You supply the red. But the second grouping of red expressed by continuous action is effortless if you build a burning desire, if you understand that your personal pivotal needs are oxygen for your soul. I'm so pumped. Okay, things, in other words, the DMP, are created in the mental or spiritual world before they appear in the outward act or event. That's the bulb and flower thing. By the simple process of governing our thought forces today, we help create the events which will come into our lives in the future, perhaps even tomorrow. Educated desire is the most potent means of bringing into action the law of growth. The intention governs attention. Okay, whatever you put your intention on, that's what you're going to, whatever your intention is, that's going to be your attention. But you have to work hard to create an intention in yourself. And we talked in a very early class about the difference between method and intention, and how most people live it backwards. Power comes through repose. It is by concentration, and there's those 4 little concentration exercises we gave you, that deep thoughts, wise speech, and all forces of high potentiality are accomplished. This is from Hanel, who Hill appropriated stuff from. It is in the silence, there's the sitting, okay, that you get in touch with the omnipotent power of the subconscious mind, from which all power is evolved. Possessions, therefore, are what? Merely confirmations of power. And that's the power that you always had, okay, that's been latent or dormant, okay? The law of growth, understood, means it's done before it's begun. Just like that flower is going to come up when you plant the bulb. The persistence gift is the formula for success, and in a nutshell, how to tap this infinite power, this infinite energy, this infinite creativity, this infinite positive mental attitude. That's really the deal. With this as a basis, you can construct an ideal business, an ideal home, ideal friends, and an ideal environment. You are not restricted as to material or cost. Thought is omnipotent and has the power to draw on the infinite bank of primary substance for all that it requires. Infinite resources are therefore at your command. They're at your command. Okay, so it's all about educo. What's that? Well, there exists a mystical power that'll transform any life so fast that we almost don't recognize ourselves. And find your own true place. This power will solve any problem. This power will manifest any DMP effortlessly. Ironically, it's the last place we look. Where is it? It's inside. It's in you. You were born with it. Now, education, educo, which is Latin, has been sort of twisted a little bit into education. That's sort of what most people think educo means. Okay, but it's really a misuse of the word as it applies to education. Okay, not learning stuff in school, not learning about this power in school is not educo. What have you really been doing the last 8 weeks? You've been doing educo. What is it? What's the actual translation, which is, it's been loosely translated into education, but the real translation is to educe. Educe is the formal bringing out or development of something that is latent or your potential. Now, I'm here to tell you that that power is not potential. That power is latent in you. It was latent in me. And what you've been doing is educing or drawing it out. This is why getting in and making a few, how can people not have the time to plant the bulbs and the seeds of success mentality. What are we doing that we're so busy that we can't get in there, compliment a few people? I'm not chastising anybody. I'm saying that's why I think it's really important that you go to the guy or the gal in the glass after this call and read that thing, and then ask yourself, why haven't I been participating in the law of growth? You're doing it for yourself. By helping other people, you're helping yourself. You can't light the path for others without lighting your own path. So the scope of the gift that you're crafting of obviously is power. The only way to keep from going backward is to keep going forward. You've got to exercise eternal vigilance daily. That's the price. And to me, to think positive, to live in my mind, to create pictures in my mind of what's going to be helpful to other people, to continue to reduce, man, it's a hell of a lot better than letting the media and the cement Buddha come back. These are the 3 steps that each of us know is absolutely essential. First, you must have the knowledge of your power. You now have this. You have this. You are powerful beyond measure. And deal with it. Okay, deal with it. Don't shy away from it. It's all right to be a little, ooh, I don't know how to use this power, but that's okay. Don't shy away from it. Second, you got to have the courage to dare. Just build a burning desire, and the law of growth will foster that courage. And third, you've got to have the faith to do. How do you do that? Well, see, what we give you here is not tell you those things. We have given you something on the first, second, and third of the 3 steps to do to make those things happen. Loyalty to the exercises with enthusiasm. Folks, you got this. You got it. Or as Sean T said, you got this. Okay? Anyway, and what of those who stay the course and become better operators of this magnificent mechanism and the power within it and educe it out of them? The operation of this thought process is seen in those fortunate folks that possess everything that others must acquire by toil, who never have to struggle with conscience because they always act correctly and never conduct themselves otherwise than with tact, learn everything easily, complete everything they begin with a happy knack, and live in eternal harmony with themselves without ever reflecting much on what they do or ever experiencing any difficulty or toil. Folks, I lived my life not in that sentence. Dave and I live our lives in that sentence. Chelsea's living her life in that sentence. Derek's living his life in that sentence. And Jackie's begun to live her life in that sentence. And it's just happening. And this is the real legacy that I wanted to create. That if the kids saw that we controlled our thoughts and by extension our lives, then they would do the same thing. And they're doing it. It's like amazing. Of course, it didn't all work out perfectly for me. I thought when I moved to Hawaii, I'd be able to get into a little shack with my honey and have her all to myself. But her manifestation of having all the kids over here was, her reality was a little stronger than mine. But it all works out anyway. So what do you say? Let's look at those WPOAs and confirm your power. So we'll go to Casey first here. So I'm going to put all the hands down. It was I know we had Casey, okay, and so this is where you start to see a real mastermind here. Hey Casey, are you there? Can you hear me?
I am.
Okay, great. Let me see. This might be difficult with my yellow buddy John. Okay, so this is how this is going to work, and I'm going to unmute you, Kathy. Whoop. Kathy, if you could unmute yourself, that'd be great. Okay, so what you're going to do here, why don't you go for, you there, John?
I'm here.
Okay, great. You might have to speak up a tad. But
Okay.
Casey, what you're going to do is tell John in a sentence or two, you know, your DMP could be, I want to get to this pin level by such and such a time. And the definiteness of purpose of that is, you know, I want to get my wife home from work. I want to own my own business, whatever. And then tell them what your plan is, okay?
This is within a couple of sentences. This will be a little challenging, but I'll do the best that I can. Hi, John.
Hey, Case.
John, you know, my purpose here is to completely transform and change my life. And as a middle-aged man, I have struggled with this until I have actually come into an awareness that I need to make a commitment to myself to change the way that I have been living, thinking, sensing, and believing. And how I'm going to do this is with each and every day, I am going to seek no less than 5 people to have a conversation with. I'm going to ask them, John, a very simple question. What would you like more of and what would you like less of in life? And from that, I will then determine the appropriate firelighter to expose to them. And by that, expose them then to the next step of what are you going to do about it? John, it is my purpose not to actually get people involved in necessarily my business, but to help them to understand that there's an opportunity for them to change the circumstances in which they live in. Because my experience as being a middle-aged man has been that there are more and more people that I am finding that are living in a desperate time.
Is that it?
That is it.
Okay. All right. So, what you want to do here, John, is give him feedback on: is it clear? Can it be communicated? Is it workable? How can it be implemented?
Right. Well, Casey, first of all, thank you for sharing that with everybody. Um, uh, I, you definitely have a plan, and I think it's written down. It's clear what you want to do and how you want to give back. You communicated that very well. Um, you told us exactly how you're going to work this by talking to finding 5 people and asking that question and reaching out to them and getting them to open up. Um, can you implement it? You can if you say you can, but I'm not sure how you're going to do that. And I don't believe you said when you were going to do that, when you were going to start doing it. And so I guess the one question I have, I love it, but to what end is this going to do? I mean, what is it that you, other than you're feeling that you're going to make a change in yourself to do this? I guess I'm not sure what the final result is, or how are you going to know that after talking to these people that you have what you want? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. John, I need to make everybody clear and understand the change has already taken place. I'm not waiting, and it's not conditional on the people that I talk to. I'm already living the change.
Gotcha. Okay.
And by doing this, as I go about my day, this is not an effort for me to do something different. This is what I am going to be doing. So I cannot control every single person that I'm going to be coming in contact with, because we all know that we meet and we greet people throughout the day. And the opportunities for us to have a significant conversation, I'm not talking about a, hi John, how are you doing today? I'm talking about, John, what makes that ball in your life bounce up and down? When I have those kind of conversations with people and I have the ability of stopping them long enough, I have the ability then to ask them deep questions. And my purpose is nothing more than to help people where I know that they are right now and to move them to the next stage.
Okay.
So I get it.
Go ahead, John.
No, so I think what we're seeing here is that you're looking for people who want to make a change, not for people who need to make a change.
The part of the challenge, John, as you know as well as I do, there are a lot of people that are living in quiet desperation. They even, some of them don't even understand that they're kind of trapped.
Yes.
And I don't know what it is about midlife, but we all come to this point where we know that things are not working. We know that the corporations around us are lying to us. We know that life has not given us that idea in our minds as far as what we wanted in our house, in our community, in our church or place that we worship. It really has fallen short, and some of us go into a decline when we realize that, because we recognize that we have no control over it, and yet the answer is right before us. And it's not until we come to that point. There's an old saying that is, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So when I was at my neediest, I ran into the world's laziest network marketer, and I had no idea that this individual was actually going to set me on a path. But what has come out of this is an awareness of, first of all, where I am, what my condition is, and the tools that I have now available to me to make effective change. It doesn't make any difference where I am in my journey, but it does make a difference where other people are. And as I continue to execute on the disciplines that I have learned and that I've gleaned, I'll get better and better and better at those disciplines for not only myself, but when I help others, I will accelerate in that. The net
Right.
outcome out of this is I have a vehicle for them in which they can financially and holistically change their lives.
Right. Hold on, let me just jump in here. Kathy, do you have any thoughts?
Just a couple of quick ones. I think it's very clear in Casey's head, but I think I agree with John that we need a little bit more of the nuts and bolts to make it clearer and, clearly communicated. And I think what Casey's trying to say is he is taking the hero's journey himself, and he wants to meet people that also are serious, and he wants to take them on a hero's journey too. So they can, realize their stuff. But Casey, did you say you were going to talk to 5 people a day? I'm sorry.
I have in my OATS process that in my communications with people, I'll have 25 conversations.
Okay.
Out of that, I'll contact no less than 5 new people per week. That
okay,
involves,
so
that's
talk
a
to
6-hour.
25 and
Yeah.
Talk to
So
25 and bring 5 to a presentation, and you're going to help to sort them by, engaging them, with the Hero's Journey 1 and Hero's Journey 2 skill, something like that, right?
Correct. Those are the table stakes that we're all talking about within here that are tools for us to use.
Right.
So I consider that filling the funnel. And as I'm filling the funnel each week,
right.
that process never stops because I always want people to be there. So
how are you going to come across those people? How are you going to find those people?
Some of them are people.
Let me just hop in here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you what's going on here, okay? You're getting great feedback, and what's happening with you is I can't tell you how much I love what you're saying. What Kathy's saying to you and what John is saying to you is we're past that point, okay? In other words, this is a great tomato sauce. It's phenomenal. It's the best tomato sauce ever. How are we going to open 40 franchises? We're at that point. We get it's so clear in your voice. There's this steely yet calming determination, and you get it because you've been awoken. And we get you want to share that. But could you sell a franchise on that plan?
Yes.
In other words, I would know what to do.
You wouldn't know what to do.
I would get how you feel. I would get how. No, it's rhetorical. I would get how you feel. I would get the cause, and I would believe you, and it brought a tear to my eye. But what we're trying to help people determine here is, what's the plan? How are you going to engage with these 25 people? Where are you going to find them? You see what I'm saying? Just because your belief in your tomato sauce is off the charts and it's accurate, doesn't sell any tomato sauce. So when Mo, Larry, and Curly pick up that, it's like they read what you've talked about and it sounds great. This is a specific plan, okay? And we got the cause, but you have, and it's wonderful to do that. You have cause, and I think there's a mission, there's a vision, and there's a cause. And I am really drawn to people that are committed to a cause, which is much bigger than a vision. But the bottom line is, okay, so we got the cause, okay? How I wanted to feed people in Newburyport, okay? How was I going to do that? What was I specifically going to do to create the money at the church, through the church, to give anonymously to the school nurse so that people would get these gift certificates and they would be anonymously given to them so that they'd feel comfortable, and we'd be in line with Scripture. When you do your alms, do them in private. Okay, that was all wonderful, Mark. How are you going to do it? So where are you going to, I think what we're talking about is where are you going to find these 25 people, and so on and so forth, that type of stuff. So you need to do some work on that.
Yeah, I think so.
That's the purpose of this thing, is not that you have it right. The
Yeah.
purpose of this thing is that you are the first one with your hand up. You're ready to go. I think what Kathy and John and myself are in somewhat agreement about, maybe at different levels, but it's like, if I picked up what you originally said, I wouldn't know what the hell to do. Okay, so you want to be able to show your plan of action to people in your group, okay, so that those people know what to do.
Okay, bingo. I understand now what you're talking about. This is not about specifically the action plan that I am putting down. It's a replication of the action plan for number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, whatever number that comes up, number N, going forward, and them using that to flip over then to their numbers, so that the process is going to be identical. If it's a good process, if it's a workable, if it's a successful process,
yeah,
it will be then the one that's used going forward.
Correct. In other words, Harry might join you, Mo, Larry, and Curly join your group, and you have a specific plan, and that might not be anything that they're going to do, but the principle behind it, that it's clear, okay, that we can ask questions about it. When you were questioned about it, you broke back into the esoteric because of where your belief is, and that's great, but no bank's going to write a check on that or no venture capitalist is going to give you $3 or $4 million to expand your franchise. The bottom line is, can you show them the principle behind it? This is the principle behind it. What's your plan? Obviously, it's written down. And we're a little, some of it's not as clear as it can be about what you're doing, but it's certainly clear to me that you have the drive behind it and you have good reasons. So, John, why don't you share your plan with Casey, okay? And Casey, you're going to give him some feedback.
Okay.
Okay. And again, this is, Mark, just for clarification, this is basically my movie trailer. Is that correct?
An even shorter version, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
we at this point, we assume people, everybody on this call knows everybody has one, and it's much deeper. It's just we used to read them all, and it would take like 4 minutes. This just lets us process more, or as Casey would say, process more people.
Process. Yes, okay.
Well, that is the correct English.
Okay. Well, so let me start with my PPN is helping others in liberty. So I promise that I'm in Maui on or before August 1st, 2015 with my family in my dream home. I have $1.5 million saved from my business. Volunteering with Alzheimer's support group puts me at peace. I started a Wounded Warrior golf program, and it humbles me and it thrills me. I build my Q business, I train, coach, recruit my team. It's exhilarating to help them realize their dreams. I love life and my bride more than ever. I take daily walks on the beach. I embrace Hawaiian culture, learning the language and playing the ukulele. I am working on my cookbook that I have been organizing for the past 15 years. I'm at home. I always keep my promises.
Okay, good job. Okay, what's the plan?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
My plan is to be in Hawaii on or before or
No,
Maui.
no, no. How are you gonna? That's
Yeah.
the definite major purpose. What's your plan? What's your weekly plan? What's your weekly and daily plan? You're communicating it to You're communicating it to Casey.
Okay.
Let me
My
ask you this, Casey. Is it clear what he wants to do?
I know where John's heart is, and
Okay,
you
great.
know
So,
it's funny how John's PPNs are the same as mine, but John uh, is hitting it right on the numbers. What is the specifics of the tactical that you're going to get there?
right. So we got the DMP, right? The strategy is the network marketing company that is with John. At this point, Casey, you want to say, John, what are your tactics?
Yeah, uh, that's exactly the question. John, what are your tactics to get there?
good yes, my tactics are to build my team. Um, I'm sorry. Yeah, the tactics are for me to build my team to reach diamond in our company by December 1st, 2015. Executive diamond by August 2015. Um, I am bringing 3 goals with me and 1 diamond honor before December 13th to reach that. I am keeping a PMA throughout this, rejecting all negative thoughts and ideas. I'm also exercising regularly and taking daily walks. Uh, so that's my plan, a high level plan of for me to get there.
John, can you tell me how you are going to demonstrate to me so that I can learn from this how you're going to do this on a daily basis?
I will, yes, I can show you through by doing oats every week and have you see my weekly plan, which is a plan that I will share with my team, and we'll all do oats together. So yes,
He's
through
asking.
oats.
He's asking you, what is that?
Uh, as far as the number of people talking to per day,
That's
yes.
correct.
Okay. My weekly plan is pretty standard throughout the week, and that is I dial 60 people per week and talk to no less than 6 per day. So whatever is the greatest. And I bring 3 to a decision per week. So that's my as far as my calling plan. I also dial with my other team members and do that on a daily basis. Help
Okay.
them build their business.
Oh, say
Can
so.
I?
Now, what you do, Casey, right? This is really important. What you do, Casey, is you look at questions 3, 4, 5, okay, and 6. The ones that have the 3 little
Mhm.
asterisks there, and that's what you kind of give him feedback about.
Okay. So, John, I want to first off tell you that I love your heart. Um, it is clear where your heart wants to go. The step-by-steps in how you're going to get there is still not clear enough. And because I am new into the network marketing business, if I've received a phone call from you and I get excited, I understand that you are going to help me. What I don't understand are the day-by-day tools that I need to make the 60 calls.
So
I
this
need,
this is a great point here, Casey, that you're picking up, and this is great masterminding. So
Mhm.
basically, what Casey's looking at here is, okay, how does it work? Is it workable? So that might be one thing when you're masterminding with people. Say, well, that you're going to talk to 3 people a day. That's probably going to make about 20 dials a day to do that. Where are you going to get those 100 numbers? Do you have a way to get the 100 numbers a week? Yeah, I do. Okay, what is that? They tell you, boom. Then that's how this works. So great pickup, Casey. Great pickup. Doing great. keep going.
Okay, so it's more than just the number, just provided the numbers. It's really down into how you're building that call list.
John, do you have any sons?
I have yes, I have one son.
Okay, so how do you take your son and teach him something?
Take him by the hand and show him,
Okay.
and yeah.
So as I'm new into the network marketing business, you're going to even have to show me how to develop a list, because I really don't know anybody. At least I don't think I know anybody. That when I'm thinking about how is it going to be implemented, one of the things that becomes very, very apparent to me, and especially because I'm new, I'm a professional business person. I've been a professional business person for over 30 years, but this business, as we know, is different. So how are you going to help me to work out this list? Because I think, because of what I've started, I don't know all that many people.
Yeah, very good point. And my mistake is probably not getting into the detail, but you're right, Casey. One of the things I need to show you are the skills, and which is part of the hand-holding process, the skills of helping you build a list. And the fact is, you know hundreds and hundreds of people, and we'll show you the techniques, and I'll help you with that to help identify the skills to do that. And then we'll take those in. I will mentor you, and have you listen by example, listening to what I'm doing as I'm helping you making calls, and so you can learn from that. And when you feel comfortable after you and I working together, then you'll be able to do that on your own with my support as well, all the way down the line.
Okay.
If I can train you to be successful, then you can train others to be successful. And that just keeps compounding and duplicating, and that's how we build a team, and that's how we build towards our DMP.
Okay,
so,
now this is starting to change here, because now you're telling me that because I actually am new into this business, you're telling me how you're going to take me by the hand, and you're going to teach me the skills that I'm going to need to start to be successful in this business, and you're not going to leave me.
Correct.
Good.
Correct.
Okay. Was that clear at the beginning, Casey?
No, but he got there. He already knew what he was going to do.
Right.
It just needed to be pulled out of him.
Right. And John, what you can do, what I'll add, great pickup by Casey, great reception of that by you, John. And this is beautiful masterminding right here. So what I would say in this point is, when you say, I build a team, and the team always works with new people, showing them how to create names and how to effectively contact people. So you can get very economical, John, with the words.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Casey, would you understand that?
Right.
Would that be clear to you? Yeah. When we build a team, and as we enroll new people, experienced people work with inexperienced people until they feel confident, competent, and capable.
John?
Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
John, can I mention something here?
Sure, please.
And this is for everybody that's on the call. One of the things that I believe in is exactly what our teacher is trying to ingrain into us, is the replication of best practice. I'm always trying to think about things that will make that easy for me and to get the highest quality replication. So I've actually utilized tools on Google, and I've placed in a lockdown Google community, which I built myself. It's very easy, it's free, and I invite my team members to come into that. All the frame firelighters, all the most people skills, the free videos that John has provided, and I use that as a community where on a weekly basis we will meet based on our oath strategy. And this is what, John, that you're talking about from the standpoint of holding my hand, and you're never going to leave me. This is in my mind and my heart. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to pull people into this community and maintain best practices with that. If at some time I can get other teachers like John or Kathy to even pop in there and take a look and review what I have, then I'll always maintain the best quality material for the people that are on my team.
Yeah, that's excellent. That's an excellent tool. I like that. It's very good.
So, well, Mark's away for just a second. John, I think that you did a fabulous job on on the breakdown. And Casey, I think that your MMA was largely esoteric, as Mark pointed out. But when you asked John the question, John, what are your tactics? And he so eloquently outlined the tactics in depth. I think that that's fabulous masterminding, and now you can turn around and just implement that for your own MMA, and it's a win-win. So you guys did awesome. So
Good job,
fabulous.
guys.
Thanks.
Great job. Okay, so
Thanks, Casey.
Yeah, and basically what happens is this stuff gets magic. Now, let's see. I got one more here. J. Hold on one second, folks. Okay, there we go. Trish just turned me into an alpha. Okay, so I got Lewis. Anybody else want to work with each other? They won't be. We'll let you run on your own. The main thing here is when people are evaluating the plan, the main thing is not to be defensive. That's the main thing. You have to realize what you're together to do in a mastermind is to work together. A lot of times we can feel a little defensive, particularly in this environment. So you got to come into this defenselessly and open up, because if people don't understand it and you need to explain it, then you're missing the point. So I got one ready to go. Who else is in with Lewis here? I'm waiting for a hand to go up before I start calling on people. Okay, I got Larry Ka. Okay, hey Larry, can you hear me? Larry.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Mark.
All right. How you doing? Hey Lewis, are you there?
I am.
Okay, Lewis. So Lewis, this is Larry. Larry, this is Lewis.
Hi, Larry.
Hi, Liz.
Larry, pick a number between 1 and 3.
2.
You get to go first. Go ahead.
Okay.
Tell Lewis your plan. Now, Lewis, you're looking at the screen. You might want to make some notes, and you see the basic areas. So just give them a general idea of why you're doing this, what you really want, what your purpose is, and then run your plan.
Okay, here goes. I figured better to just jump in than sit on the sidelines and fret about it. So, just to be real honest with you, my definite major purpose is to create a $40,000 a month residual income so that I can basically do what I call a bigger plan, a foundation for generational wealth for my family, and be able to travel to all the places that I would like to see. And the reason I want to do that is because I want to, it's really a quest for me to become fully human, which is to express the divine within me at the great extent possible. And I feel like experiencing the sights and sounds and smells and thoughts and ideas and experiences and accomplishments of others in other cultures and other societies is just a way to really expand that. Now, my plan for the $40,000 a month is kind of at least a two-phase plan, and probably some of those phases will be broken down into other pieces. The first phase is actually a 30-day phase where I set aside 12 hours a week in writing on my calendar to devote to the three-step process of inviting people into the hero's journey and collecting decisions. I have as my resource for that a list of at least, actually over 400 people who I have not contacted about any network marketing, about my network marketing business. And out of that, in that 30-day plan, I expect to collect at least 10 decisions where folks join me. I'm going to assume that all decisions are affirmative, but some are yes and some are no. And so that would be the completion of phase 1. Phase 2 is to immediately engage those 10 in the process of learning how to once a week set goals for the following week, doing the oats with each of them, and help them develop their lists as best that I can. I don't know all of those skills yet, and be able to take the 12 hours a week that I've devoted to this 3-step process and at least spend 9 of those hours on helping those 10 whom I have at least collected into the business with me. Not expecting that all of them will participate in the way that I would hope for, but even if we were to whoever raises their hand and says to what extent they want help, that's what I intend to do. And then the third phase really is to systematically, after we get a couple of months of momentum, to participate in a regional event in July. I believe it's July 13th. For as many as will participate in that with me, we'll build toward that, and then begin after that event to find ways to systematically teach those who are duplicating the same process of how I start. And my goal is to obviously $40,000 a month is not going to be something that I achieve overnight, but my goal is to, as I've set it in increments, is to get to at least $10,000 a month on or before November 27th in 2014, and then I have progressive numbers all the way up to 40,000 in November 27th of 2017. I guess that's at least how my plan lays out. And there's probably lots of goals, but I'd be happy to take the feedback.
Hello? Hello?
Hello? Yeah.
Yeah, hey Larry?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah. You know, I'm I don't know how confident I am to to critique this, but I certainly understand the $40,000 a month that you want to earn, and I think you said something about it kept on breaking up a little bit. Something about a foundation of divine within you. I didn't understand what you were talking about there.
Okay. I was describing my definite major purpose, and it's really three-pronged. I have 3 sons, and have had a vision for a...
Let me interrupt you guys for a second.
Yes,
Let me interrupt you guys for a second. I'm sorry you didn't hear that part, Louis, but we got what he wants, right? That's clear. Just focus on, is it clear? You know, do you feel it's communicatable? Do you feel that he's outlined it so that it's workable and that he can implement it? That's what you're giving him feedback on.
You know,
Let me help Louis out a little bit,
yeah,
if I may.
Yes.
Larry, it's fabulous, and it's definitely clear in your head, but it needs to be more concise. And I think you should, like number 3, it just needs to be simplified and bottom-lined more, so it can be easily and clearly communicated. You know, you have the different phases, and that's fine, and that can be in your head and in your plans, but just initially at least, it just needs to be more clear and more concise, so it can be more directly and easily communicated and more workable. How does that sound?
Yeah,
That's a good job.
yeah, and one thing that I want to add to this, and this is the beauty of masterminding, and one of you guys has a construction crew or dishes going on behind you, and I might have to come over and blow torch somebody. Stop it.
My wife needs to quit putting the dishes away.
Okay, yeah. Well, tell her that if she does and you can pay full attention, that within 6 months, there'll be somebody putting the dishes away for her. Okay? And anyway, you made a couple of statements. I think what you have is fabulous. I absolutely think Kathy's right. Personally, I would just let it lie the way it is, except for just tighten it up a little bit. But the thing is, as you said, you know, that some of the people may not work out, but you're going to work with the ones that are. Just leave that out. I run with runners. Okay? Don't bring into the ones that, in your mind, the ones that aren't. The other one, and you said a very similar thing, is that, you know, I know it's not going to happen overnight. Well, one, you don't know that. Okay? And two, I loved what you said right after that, you know, that I'm going to build this incrementally. So take any of those things out. I know what you're doing. You're trying to temper it with patience and say, you know, I know it's not going to be an easy road, but leave all that stuff out. You know, I incrementally rather than, you know, I know it's not going to happen overnight, but I build incrementally. Just say, I incrementally built, right?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Excellent. Yeah. Yeah.
And
I always need feedback on simplifying.
yeah, but man, it's a beautiful job. Did you get that, Louis? That
Yes, you did. Yeah, absolutely.
It's clear, it can be communicated, and it's just something you want to just tighten up. Magnificent job. Okay, Louis, you're on the hot seat. Lay it out for us, String Bean.
Yeah, you know, mine is only the tomato sauce. Also, I mean, it's only the first phase here. But
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Don't apologize for using a mastermind. We're here. This is what we do.
So I started off, I promised by the last day of June 2014 I will earn $80,000 in additional cash and also be ranked gold in the company that I'm representing. The additional cash will allow me to stop withdrawing from savings. I promise I will continue to learn the skills taught by Go90Grow and teach the skills the first year to a minimum of 6 people. And then I said I will develop a successful team that allows me to earn my financial goal of saving enough money to put my grandchildren through college. I will have built a successful team that is united by shared values. Together, we will achieve our goals of financial independence and freedom of time to do what matters to us. I commit 50 hours a week to my business goals and to continue improving on the skills and education that I need as leader of my teams. And then I just put I sacrifice TV except for scheduled championship games and sporting events. I promise to sit and think about my goals in a quiet place every day for 10 minutes in my home by 5 a.m. As I achieve these goals, I will feel absolutely fantastic because I know for certain that I'm following God's will and fulfilling His plan for my life. I will feel blessed, excited. With my wife seeing my grandchildren graduate from college and being able to see children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren and able to enjoy time with them because I'm free to travel to see them. I'm excited to be able to travel to many countries on mission trips and being part of a leadership of a great church. That's it.
Wow. What are your thoughts?
It's not how. I don't have any of the hows, but the only hows that I mean, I know I'm just starting this business.
No. I'm asking. It's time for you to give feedback.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let me. I'll just jump in. So, yeah, there were a couple of pieces that. Let's see. Is it clear? There were a couple of pieces that sounded clear as far as when. You mentioned June 2014. You mentioned teaching 6. And so I got those. I didn't totally get all the details, but I did get that. Is it clear as far as what the plan is? It sounded clear somewhat. Well, there were elements of what your plan is for personal development. Not quite your desires about what you want to accomplish were. I heard those, but I didn't hear really much in terms of a plan. I wondered. You said enough money, for instance, and to put your grandchildren through college, and I just wondered. I wondered if that had, if there was, if that had a number for you, for instance. I know that when I developed my number, I finally said, okay, I'm just going to sit down and figure out what that number is, and it's been amazing how much better I've been able to work with a number rather than just an idea.
No, the first year I put down 80,000, and I put for the next 15 years like 96,115, and I went all the way up to $1,000,001.
Right. Okay. The actual amount of people you're going to talk to a week, do you have that down?
No, I haven't got. And you know what? I stopped. I started this business, and I stopped when I started this training in March because
Where
I
are you
had.
from, Lewis?
I'm from where you lived.
I'm here in March.
I'm in Boston now.
Boston or Gloucester?
Yes. Boston.
Gloucester or Boston?
Well,
Boston.
Actually Westboro.
Okay, yeah, I know Westboro. Mark Fidrich and all that, right?
Yeah. So I had about 35 people under me, and not one of them, pursued it. They do the first auto ship and then they drop, and I know exactly why now.
Yeah.
So learning this, I feel real confident that, especially on the frame, the fire.
Yeah.
Lighters and.
Well, let's get off the.
tails.
Let's move off the skills, and that's fantastic. I know you've been working in there. We can see how often people are in there, but here's the thing, right? I love. You're like 90% of the way there. Would you agree with that, Larry?
Yes.
He's close.
Yes. Absolutely.
Just get a little bit more specific about what you're going to do weekly.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, you don't have to answer the question like when I'm going to build, I'm going to talk to 25 people a week. I'm going to have conversations with 25 people a week. Someone will say, we can get all those names. I say, well, I'm sitting on 10,800 right now.
Yeah.
People that know me and like me. So I'm not worried about that. Great. And I can show you how to do that too. So, but just, get it so that you're breaking it down and what you're doing weekly, which is really, folks, this is sort of a trick slide here. If you've been doing oats every week, guess what? That's what it is. That's what it is. And that the Kathys and the Marks and the Larrys and the Lewises that were questioning each other are where there might be holes, where there might be obstacles. I got a girl down in Australia, she can't do 10-minute coffees a week. She can't do it. She's because of the child. She's a stay-at-home mom, and she got little ones, so it's just not possible. But anyway, so this is a good experience for you, Lewis?
Yes, I'm learning.
Do you feel supported right here?
Pardon?
Right now. Do you feel supported right now?
100%.
Do you feel criticized?
Oh no, absolutely not.
Okay, Larry, do you feel supported?
Yes, I certainly do, and I really, really appreciate both you guys for helping.
Do you feel criticized?
No.
Okay.
Critiqued.
Folks, this is critique. Yeah, constructive feedback. Folks, this is closer than the first conversation, and the next one will be closer than this one. But this is what you want to do on your teams. You get together, and when you set up your mastermind, and you help each other work through the plans, which is why Casey was right about um, not the specific thing, that the plan's going to be modeled exactly after mine because it's tailored to a person's life, which is why I mentioned this girl Christine down in Australia. Okay, it's going to be the plan has to be Casey has to be modified to fit her life, but the principle, how many people are you going to contact a week about your business, is contacting that many people a week going to find you help you find your way to your definiteness of purpose. Okay, along with the teaching and the 3D pattern and all that kind of stuff, obviously. So that's the reverse engineering. So this is where I think your goals, um, Lewis,
Yes.
if you get that number where you're talking to a minimum of two people, you're showing the business. If you show the business 2 times a day, 4 times a week, do a step two in coffee
Yes.
shops, living room, or whatever, or or 5 times a week, you're showing it twice. Dude, the numbers you have very realistic. I love that you escalated them. And Larry, I got to tell you something. You understand it completely. You do. And so this is what masterminding does is it helps us refine and see our own unconscious, we all have unconscious competence. We know what we mean, but can it be communicated? Can Hank tell Joanne Casey's plan? Can Louise tell Frankie Lewis's plan? And that they'll understand it. That's what it means. Can it be communicated? Yeah, Mark's plan is real simple. When he goes to work, he shows the plan twice a day. And within 90 days, he's got a couple of lieutenants and he's up and running. Well, what does that mean? That I'll talk to him about, but it's real clear. I know if I show the plan twice a day, it's game over. It's just game over. So, but that doesn't mean everybody can do that. What it means is you have to modify for a person's life. They're working part-time. When I was working full-time, I finally made a decision to show the plan twice a day, no matter what. And man, I was changing clothes 3 or 4 times a day. I had the smelly shrimp clothes, squeezing lemons all over myself, going and showing the plan in a coffee shop, driving to a gas station, changing back into, shrimp stink clothes, and so forth. But, I don't expect everybody to be a nut like that. I was just, I knew once I found the hero's journey, I knew what I was going to do, and I just want to make it happen faster. Now, somebody else could take that plan, Casey, and just spread it out over time based on their lifestyle. But you guys get the principle. So next week we'll actually be calling on people, and that's usually the week that the attendance cuts in half. You have to ask yourself why you would do that. Okay, we're here to help you. You're hearing from everybody. They don't feel criticized. They're supported. It's a great experience. That's what a mastermind is. It's to leverage 2 or more minds working in perfect harmony for a definite major purpose. And all Kathy, John, and myself wanted to do with Casey was to help him get a little clearer, separate a little of the esoteric from the, what's the see Dick run Dick run part. On the other hand, he certainly understands the principles. So it's complement, and they both complemented. Everybody complemented each other, folks. You will not make it without a mastermind. That's one of the 4 ingredients of the gift that you've given yourself. So this is the snapshot, and this is really how your masterminds start. Once you're in sync, then maybe you have a national convention coming up, and you're not dumb because you've been trained in Go90Grow like all the other network marketers, and you start thinking about the convention 30 days before. You start thinking about it 90 to 120 days before, and you start to mastermind together and come up with different ideas and write out a plan so that you can get twice as many people to the event, or another 5 people each, or whatever it happens to be. And then it's on to the next thing. And you're working in harmony, but it starts with a plan, because once you can get over people's personal plans, because they can be a little defensive about them, or this is the beginning of the process, but because it always goes as well as it just did with those 4 callers, something marvelous happens. The next plan is a team plan, and the next plan's a team. After that, they're always team plans. How to leverage each other, how to get people to events, what to do at the event. You're going to have an event. I always had an event after the event because I found a lot of network marketing companies, they don't train. They do a lot of great stuff and everybody gets jacked up. But I got my leaders together and we developed training for after. So Sunday morning we'd have a breakfast and we'd train our team. Anyway, that's not as important as the fact that that was something that we did as a mastermind team. But everybody had a clear plan of what they were doing weekly, which is why they were growing. Okay, so let's bind together DMP, POA, which is plan of action, decision, and persistence. Everybody knows a definite major purpose without a plan is indecision. At best, it's a fantasy, okay? And it's really the source of eroding our self-esteem, which the world does enough of that. You don't need to do it to yourself, right? The decision is to follow through, not merely following up. Showing up is following up. Doing the work is following through with a written plan examined by a mastermind alliance, okay, and then written down again. That's what's really, really important, okay? All right, so the myth is that the fortune is in the follow-up. The truth is the fortune's in the follow-through. If you don't have a written plan of what you're going to do weekly that's clear, that can be communicated to other people, when I sit down to analyze people's business, the first thing I say is show me your written plan for the week. If they don't have one, the conversation's over. I say, well, there's nothing to evaluate here. So what I want you to do is write down what you're going to do for the upcoming week, then do it, and then we'll get on the phone and we'll analyze it, okay? We fail without persistence. So decide to write out a plan, get mastermind help, build a burning desire, and there you go. There's those are the 4 little habits that create persistence. What does all that mean? If you're communicating in there, people that are communicating all the time, you guys can get on the phone with each other. You can contact each other by phone, and do your thing. It's really important. So last week we covered leadership. The idea behind leadership is a game changer. Leadership isn't, being on stage. You got to, all these speeches about leadership and network marketing from stage, as far as I'm concerned, that's the time to go get coffee, because 90% of the people in the audience can't do it. And that's got nothing to do with leading. All leading has to do in network marketing is leading the person into the hero's journey and being their helper and mentor, just leading them to the next step. And it comes through quiet discovery and self-improvement. The best way to improve your team is to improve yourself. That's all you got to do to lead, because if people see you improving, that's what inspires them. They don't feel like you're telling them what to do. You're setting the pace. The speed of the leader determines the speed of the pack. But it's not by pin level. It's if you improve the skills and you improve the execution of the skills and you improve the consistency that you're applying the skills, people will notice and they'll want to follow you, and that's all it really is, okay? So you've got to make those hand-drawn spreadsheets and get the 11 traits out of that leadership thing and rate them 1 to 11. So we'll go over this next week. This is something that you need to share this. If you're not doing this, then you're not leveraging the law of growth. Do you have a picture of him, honey? So here's the assignments. Did you fix the assignment? I did. Okay. Thanks, Mark Layton, for pointing that out. So view chapter 9. Okay, continue to use the law of growth. Leverage a spreadsheet to have your plan evaluated next week. I'm going to ask you, what was your word that you focused on this week? So I really want you to do that, okay? You know how to do that, whether it's courage or organization or whatever. Just notice it everywhere and everyone and everything. I'm going to ask you that. That's a requirement to get your plan evaluated, okay? And if nobody wants to do that, then I'm going to call on people anyway. We're here to push you. This is P9. This is like P90X. This is an intense program. And by getting involved intensely with the law of growth, things happen for you effortlessly. So the 7 questions about your plan, be prepared next week, because you can't teach what you don't know. And if you enroll people in this business and you don't have a written plan, one may have to ask themselves, am I being ethical, or am I just conning somebody out of a few bucks to get a quick pay? If I don't have a plan, I can't teach them that. So tremendous Lewis, tremendous Casey. They all took their hits and they liked it. They liked it because it helped them get better. bottom line is everybody knows you simply can't lead where you won't go. So we're going to kind of break away from something that we traditionally do here. I know some may have questions, but I want to look for something here. Just give me a second. This was actually at the live event. I don't. Do you know if he was in any of these pictures, honey? This was actually a hike that we took. And, okay. So I want to share something with you, and I hope you see it for what it is. This will we're gonna probably right now we're tentatively April. We're going to the hotel this week to redo the dates, to schedule the dates. We took a hike, and there's this girl from Australia. There's Chip. Um, we took this bike ride along the ocean. There's Johara and Terrence, and there's Christine again. And this was just a beautiful thing for us. And a group of people came over here from all over the world and bonded. And there they are leaving. Okay, there's Joseph and Vasi and Luke all the way from France. There we are at the Sheraton. Now, I'm showing you this for a reason. I want you to stay on the call. I'm asking you for a favor. Okay, so there's Vasi. There's Carrie. He went up on that hike because they were leaving the day that we were all going as a group. And he took a suggestion. You look into this guy's eyes, man, and you can feel a power greater than yourself. This is the beach that we start at, and we hike up to here, and then a couple more miles, and that's a couple thousand feet up, and we all swim down there afterwards. Beautiful day up there. There's the chipper, uh, and there they are up on the Nepali coast in Creation, and you see in there, these two guys surrounded me, and they just inundated me with the spirit. And we are at Donkey Beach. There they are smoking some cigars. Here we are back on the trail. There's Don Ketterhagen. This, this is Donkey Beach where we went to. They're up in a helicopter. And a lot of these people, this is up in the valley. Monk seals on the beach. We're all at the fire pits. There you see people uh, from Canada shocked to be in good weather. And it was just a magnificent thing. There's Janet from Australia. There's Maria over here from Sweden. I really want you to stay on the call, folks. There's a great lesson coming here for you. This isn't an advertisement for what we do. The waiting list for the next event, because we cap the size of the event like we cap everything to give one-on-one, is basically twice the size. So we'll get that out to you in the next few days so you can get on that waiting list and get notified. Even though it's a year away, people already want to come. There's Tom and Rafe by the hotel. There's the fabulous Davine. This man right here, Sachin, what an amazing story. He had me crying just because of how much he cares about his children. But it's this guy right here, right here, this guy right here. His name's James. And what an incredible force and contribution he made. He's right there. He's right there. Very successful in an insurance business. And was just so kind to everybody and made everybody feel so wonderful. There's Tom Dutta on the bike trail, and I think Reef wanted to kiss him. Everybody loved Tom's bag. Um, Tommy's in the mafia, as we all know, and but we love him anyway. So this is what happened over here, and of course James is here a lot. You've seen a few pictures of him. So this is pretty interesting because he made a major contribution. And this is James out on the beach. And let me see if I can zoom in a little bit here. This is him out on the beach. And he actually brought his son over. He brought his wife over. And I can't even begin to tell you what a wonderful experience it was meeting James. And he had a heart attack and he died shortly after he got home. And one of the things, and I met with him one-on-one, And I said, you know, you're really successful in your insurance business. Why are you so determined in network marketing to, you know, to learn this stuff? I mean, you're obviously a successful guy. You're succeeding in network marketing. You know, why did you come here? And he said to help other people. And I said, can you tell me more about that? He said, in the insurance business, I've seen a lot of shit go down. He said, and it's over before you know it. And the time to do it is now. And I want to learn how to help people to do it instead of protect them financially in the future with insurance, you know, against death, which is a good thing. He said, I want them to protect their life now and enjoy their life now. So James had a big effect on me. He was all over Go90Grow. If you go in there, you'll see the positive comment after positive comment. And we're going to miss him. I really enjoy everybody, but I really, really connected and loved this guy, maybe because we sold insurance. You know, I sold insurance too, and the bond was a little tighter, and I was a salesman too at one time. So we're going to kind of cut off the Q&A stuff here. I'll answer a few of them, but I hope that you all understand. Um, Yeah, thanks, Jude. Yeah, one of the most exciting things that happened over here, he was so excited. And he said, I'm sorry if I was fidgeting in my seat. I wanted to keep going outside. And he shut his cell phone off to show respect for himself and his classmates. And he had a grandson that was a grandchild that was born here. And he was so excited about it. So excited about it. Yeah, this is great. Brett says, this week I am working on self-control. Great self-control expressed by these guys on the call. I'm checking it 4 times. Yeah, that's why we all need some humor. Yeah, I know some of you will be away next weekend, but that's why we record them. Faith and courage. Yeah, Tommy, I can. But anyway, so um, thanks everybody for being here. And I wish you had a chance to meet James. If you did, send some prayers to his family. Honey, I'm going to shut this down. You good? Date? Okay. Yeah, we'll email you James's address and emailing address if you want to reach out and touch his family.